Alright, here we go. It is time to look forward into the future of WWE and make some serious decisions, because there's no two ways about it. As of right here and right now, Roman Reigns is the super duper face of the company. Don't you even try and argue it. All his segments do mega rating, he's selling a ton of merchandise, and if you do anything with him in a market perspective, loads of people put their hands up and go, oh, hello Roman Reigns, I will throw money at you. So whatever potential the WWE did see in the Tribal Chief, they were absolutely right. We just took a very strange way to get there. And of course, at some point, he is going to lose his WWE Universal title and maybe go even more part-time, and maybe even go off to Hollywood, which asks the big question, who should be the next person in line to walk into this space and take the throne? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's this very special person. Why? Here's why in a second. Now, the most obvious person to throw in there is, of course, Marseille. The Maximum Male models were recently transferred to Raw, which means they are on the premiere show, so I would take Marseille and I would start to give him a mega push to the point he becomes the WWE champion. You know, give it a few seconds, because the comments have already gone crazy. That was fun. Instead, we do, of course, look over at Cody Rhodes, and once again, come on now. Because if you announce him for a house show, tickets all of a sudden sell. He was the #1 merchandise seller over Raw Rumble weekend, and as we learnt from some recent Raw ratings, when him and Paul Heyman were on screen, quite literally hundreds of thousands of people went and tuned in. I mean, even in the midst of this Sami Zayn storyline that everybody loves, there's no ill will towards Rhodes. Nobody hates the American Nightmare. He just makes them feel all warm and fuzzy in his tum-tum. So he's ticking the boxes. Now, never forget that being the face of the company is more about the in-ring ability or what you can do on a promo. WWE expects a certain something from these individuals, be it going on talk shows, doing media, or just walking around selling the brand as best as you can. That's why management looks for a certain person, because they want sports entertainment to be all lovely jubbly, and so they can reach out to the mainstream, and the mainstream go, oh my God, they were so charming, maybe I should watch wrestling. I mean, that's why Vince McMahon never bought into Daniel Bryan, because he thought he was too small and a vegan. Now, don't get me wrong, that is insane thoughts, but that's the process he went through, because he is a little bit weird. Now, I don't think Triple H would go this far, but don't forget, he was brought up on the same thing. I mean, if we go through who the guy was throughout his tenure, you had a Hulk Hogan, you had Stone Cold Steve Austin, you had The Rock, and you had John Cena. And I'm sorry, if you all line them up in a row, they do look kind of similar. So there is a thread there, because WWE knows what they like, and with Cody, not only could he fit into that lineup, but wrestling is basically flowing through his body. And maybe the most important aspect is he is only 37 years old, which ties into a point I've made a lot recently. But if you're going to do something once, you may as well do it 82 times. Because if we do indeed jump to Brock Lesnar, when he defeated The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak at WrestleMania 30, everyone was like, oh, can't believe it gets Brock Lesnar. He was already a star, which is true. But after he had done this, oh my gosh, he entered a brand new stratosphere and he became the WWE's end-of-level boss. I mean, did you see how he performed in the Royal Rumble 2023? Even though he only lasted 3 minutes, he was still chucking people over the top rope like they were nothing, because within this decade, he has become a beast. So do not pretend that what he did back in 2014 wasn't the catalyst for this, because it absolutely was. It took a legitimate threat and made him legitimate times 2. You never want anyone to go legitimate times 2. You can't stop him. It means that we know this kind of plan works, so why don't we just do the same with Cody, who can take both of these belts off Roman Reigns, who I believe has held them since 1978. I mean, just keep all the plans in place, keep telling these narratives, and before you know it, Rhodes can be on Jimmy Fallon going, ha 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 ha, and charming his pants off. Good, great, awesome. He's also gone through the same ringer as all the guys that I mentioned, because don't forget that Stone Cold Steve Austin had to be the ringmaster before he got his due. The Rock was told to die until he became the Great One, and we all know the John Cena story, and we've already referenced Roman Reigns. So even though Cody Rhodes was Stardust, him doing a massive 180, well, quite ironically, is written in the stars. And it also just makes sense to me. I mean, none of us ever thought he was going to jump back to WWE, but ever since he did at WrestleMania, well, he's barely put a foot wrong. And as horrendous as it was, even that pec injury has helped him. It's like the world is truly behind him. And of course, he's not the only guy that could step into this. Someone like a Drew McIntyre would be a fine choice. And if you want to look a little younger, you've got the likes of Montez Ford and Austin Theory. But when you cross your arms and just become a bit wrestling nerd about this, it just doesn't feel like their time. They need a little bit more cooking time in the oven. I said time twice, damn it. I mean, if we are going to go right here, right now, I would also throw Rhea Ripley into the mix. And the only reason I'm not going to do that is because WWE always seems to want a dude. And hopefully one day they will change their stance on that, because have you seen Rhea? She's flubbing fantastic. And of course we never know who is going to pop up, anyone could surprise you, but Cody is just surfing a wave right now. And don't forget, when he won the Rumble, there was no backlash, in fact everybody cheered him, and then he turned up on Raw, and what did we chant? You deserve it. I actually think ever since we pulled the trigger, we've elevated Rhodes even more, and just for some more evidence for you, and maybe I just said this, but I'm saying it again because I think it's important, when Lesnar did defeat that streak, he was 37 years old. Cody Rhodes right now is 37 years old. So you could get so much fuel out of this fire, I really don't think we have another choice. I also really do love the journey here because I think it's so damn inspirational, motivational, and something that we can all relate to. Because back in 2016, WWE didn't think nothing of Cody Rhodes, hence why they wouldn't let him break out of the Stardust character. So he left, he bet on himself, he went to disrupt the industry when he formed AEW before he did come back home, and now he's going to live all of his dreams. He's already won the Rumble, he's going to main event WrestleMania, and even if we don't allow him to beat WrestleMania there, even if we don't allow him to beat Roman Reigns there, we've got a SummerSlam, we've got a Money in the Bank, we've got a Survivor Series, we've got another Royal Rumble, we've got another WrestleMania. It's just going to happen eventually, and there's no going back. Damn it, there shouldn't be either. And it also ties into the other part of this conversation, which of course is, well, why can't Sami Zayn do this? And I actually think he'd be pretty damn good at it, even if Sami went on Ariel Helwani's show and said, well, no, I actually don't think they'd give it to me. But he's lovable, he always comes across well in interviews, and while he may not look like your typical WWE superstar, I actually think that serves him better, because it goes to show, well, anybody can climb the ranks if you work hard and if you're dedicated enough, and you too can get to the top of the tree. Now look, Sami Zayn is right, WWE is not going to do this, but as a plan B, I don't see why the flub not. Realistically though, WWE could make anybody the face of the company, they just have to get behind them as much as they have got behind Roman Reigns, because honestly, they could have ended that whole thing when all the madness was going down in 2016 and 2017, but they didn't. They stuck by their duck, they stuck by their choice, and now all of their rewards have paid off. So if Cody Rhodes is the person to step in line, we can't go back to the tribal chief, we cannot stop sitting at his table, we have to move those chairs, we have to burn the wood, and allow the American Nightmare to shine. So now look, this is just my opinion on the whole thing. What's more important is what you think. There is a comment box down there. Make sure you get your ass in it and tell me, who do you think should be the next face of WWE? And if anybody says Otis, know that yes, you're 100% correct, and I'm going to send you a cookie. Also, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe with the bell ding ding so you do know when other videos are going live. And do not forget the 3 things you must do after every video. Go to whatculture.com. We will keep you up to date with all the latest wrestling news. You can find us on social media at whatculturewwe and Simon Miller 316. I wouldn't have put the 316 if I had known my future, but I've done it now. And we have lots of videos, one of which is on the screen. Click it and see what happens. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you very much for joining me as always. And that's right, I am betting my racehorse, I am betting my cash, I am putting myself behind Cody Rhodes, because once again, sometimes it just feels right. And if something feels right, why the hell would you stop it? It sounded a little bit sexual. I didn't mean it that way. Let's end the video. Goodbye.